Did you guys know that most real estate deals die before they ever get to the closing table? And they die for one reason or another. Something pops up with the title. Somebody wants an exception in the title. Do you even know what that means? Yeah, I didn't for the longest time either. So that's why tonight I'm going to go over what a transaction coordinator does in your business, the importance of having a transaction coordinator, and we call ours a deal administrator. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that position on my team and how this will be beneficial to your business, but also what that person does in your business. I had to scour YouTube for and then Google for I don't know how long to find out even what a transaction coordinator does, because if you're new to real estate investing or creative finance and subject to, you don't even know. Well, I'm about to give you that game. So, if you're new to my channel, I want you to hit that like button, and if you feel like I bring you some value, consider subscribing, okay? Or you could just be a player about it and hit that subscribe button. All right, I'll be right back.
I'm a go-getter. They some go-getters. We some go-getters. Hope you a go-getter. Let's get it. I'm a go-getter. They some go-getters. We some go-getters. Hope you a go-getter. Let's get it. I'm a go-getter. Hustle to the end, we some no-quitters. Knock it out the park, we for show hitters. Right, left hemisphere, that's a dome splitter. Yeah. We control our own destiny. Make moves, cultivate whole legacy. Creative finance, bring more ecstasy. The right ingredients, now that's a dope recipe.
Yo, we are live and in effect on this beautiful Monday night. All right. So I'm here to give you guys some game on what a transaction coordinator does in your business and how important they are. All right. So we got a few people here live, man. I want you guys to drop some flames in the comments if you're here watching live, because I'll tell you that, okay, Amani, what's good? What's good? I'm not even gonna try to say that name. Got my dog Jerry in the building. All right, all right. So drop some flames in the comments, guys, because I'll say this. I had to search high and low to find out what exactly a transaction coordinator even does. It was it was an arduous process for me. I'll say that. And then you ask people what a transaction coordinator does, and it's almost like they're a deer in the headlights. And I'm like, well, you hear this all the time. So hit that like button for the Go Getter family. All right. And if you're new to my channel, I want you to consider subscribing. All right. So, okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah. All right. Brian Garcia in the house, Midnight Chef Jacob. Yeah. So, um, so guys, understand this too. All right. Because when you understand creative financing subject to and even real estate transactions at a high level, you will know the position of a transaction coordinator, but you may not have been able to define that right within your business, even within your journey. Because if you're a solopreneur and you're getting started on this, on your own by yourself, well, you end up doing all of those things anyway, right? I mean, you're your lead manager, lead generation, right? You got to get the lead first. Yeah, I mean, if there is no lead, there is no deal, there is no house to buy. You're the lead manager, and then you're the cold caller, right? Or you're the acquisitions manager. So you're doing the marketing, and I don't know why. You're doing your marketing, and you're tracking your marketing expenses. Then you're closing them. Once you talk to them, setting the appointments, so you're the acquisitions manager. But once that is done, once you have that thing under contract, what do you do next? Right? That's what a lot of people are lost at, especially if something comes up during title. So let me man, I'm trying to turn this thing off. Boom. Okay. I don't know why it turns itself back on. I think it does it when I restart. I'm back, y'all. So I was trying to turn off that noise for you guys. So we play all of those positions. It wouldn't it be nice to have a team? Wouldn't it be nice? Well, it is nice because I have a team, and it really is nice. So I've got what we have, the Go Getter family. We have a deal administrator. All right, for that. That's to help our members. right, that are doing deals, and there's certain parameters that they have to hit to be able to, bring it to the deal desk and have that deal administrator help them, or our acquisitions manager and executive coach Jerry to help them close, because we want to close deals too, right? But see, this is what we all got to understand, and not a lot of us do, is that now listen to me. The work that we do while we're in private, right? The work that we do while we're in private, that impacts the work we do in public. Think about that. The work we do while we are in the privacy of our own home, at our office, whatever, with our nose to the grind, having that focused activity, that's work in private. It impacts the work we do in public. It impacts the way people see us in public. So if we don't do that work in private, well then, the way we look in public, it's gonna be a little iffy, right? We're gonna be a little shaky, standing on thin ice, right? Um, okay, there goes Shafta. There goes Shafta. Yes, your deal administrator, dear go getters. Shafta's all about it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the personality traits that you want to have a transaction coordinator, or have in a transaction coordinator, but also what are some of the transaction coordinator's duties. So I'm going to share my screen with y'all. That's how nice I am. I'm going to share my screen. Oop, I hit the wrong one. Okay, guys. Let's take a look at this here. Why did it do that? This is what a transaction coordinator is. The transaction coordinator is the glue of every deal. All right. The transaction coordinator is the glue of every deal. And see, the problem will lie in some glue. It's like Elmer's, and then you got super glue. Okay. Which one are you? Are you Elmer's, or are you super glue? Because if you don't sharpen those skills, well, you're going to have a difficult time even getting something under contract. But here's what your transaction coordinator does. Oh, and oh, by the way, guys, before I forget, I'm having a free training February 1st, Wednesday, February 1st, from 6 p.m. Central to 7:30 p.m. Central. That's if you're new to the Go Getter family, new to seeing me. All right. If you're in the inner circle, hey, you can stop on through, talk to some of the people while you're there if you want. But this is for people that are new. Wednesday, February 1st, from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Central. You can register with the link in the description. All right. You click that link, put in your information. There's limited amount of seats left. All right. So the transaction coordinator, or our deal administrator for our members, is in charge of overseeing transactions from the time the prospect has agreed to accept the offer until the disbursement of the checks. And what does that mean? You ask yourself, right? What does that mean? It means a lot. As a matter of fact, I've got a student. I was talking to that student today, and I'm not going to say any names, but I was talking to that student today, and they're working on a deal. A deal was supposed to be closing for them today. Now, that's traditional real estate, realtor, cash buy, which is cool. Those don't really have to go through underwriting, but there is title work that is done. Aha. See, that's what YouTube ain't gonna tell you this. It just ain't. YouTube will not tell you this. People out here marketing and trying to sell you just a course or whatever, they're not going to tell you this, but getting it under contract is just the beginning of the battle. It really is just the beginning of the battle, because once you get that contract to the title company does their thing, reaches out. Oh, that's small. I don't even think you guys can see that. Sure, I'll make that bigger next time. Okay, so once it gets to the title company, that's a whole new ball game, because they're getting the title search done. And what a lot of people don't know is both your seller, right, with the deed to the home where we're trying to transfer that deed, that seller, they can't have any judgments and things like that. But also your buyer. Your buyer, if the buyer has any judgments or liens against them, those travel with the person, guys. Understand that. People won't, you ain't gonna find it. I just gave you something that that people keep in their back pocket. Okay. The seller and the buyer, It doesn't matter. Judgments travel with people. So they both have to be clean. They both have to be clean. And if they are not, well, then that deal is held up. All right. And next, this is what it includes. All right. Sending the necessary documents to all parties concerned. That's what a transaction coordinator does. A transaction coordinator, you want that person to be a detail oriented person. They are about details, and then they are about following the procedure. Following the procedure. See, we have a subject to checklist. Checklist, man. Just check the box for the document. Boom. Did you get it? Did you get it? You check that off on a deal. You can print one out for each deal that you do. You can print one out for each deal that you do. And oh, I didn't put that back up on the screen. You can check one off for each deal that you do. All right. So sending the necessary documents. So once you've got your seller, right? Boom, get it under contract. You're at title. You do the title search. And then the title search comes back clean. Your title agent says, yeah, Gene, go for it. You start marketing that to find a buyer. And now once you find that buyer and you get those documents, those initial documents signed, your transaction coordinator, now that's the other side of that glue. Now that we have a seller and a buyer, the transaction coordinator is also doing, let me make that a little bit bigger for you. They're securing a title company or an attorney for you. Securing a title company and or an attorney. So you want that transaction coordinator, or like Shafta, deal administrator, to be somewhat knowledgeable of the closing process, understanding how titles work. And that's, we have a document in our step 1, and it's in my full course. So with the inner circle of understanding how titles work, knowing about the deed books and how many different deed books there are and what those deed books are. And then also knowing about lien positioning, right? Lien positioning. Does anybody get to jump that line if there are several liens on a property? And then how can we negotiate liens, right? I mean, there's a lot. Hey, come on. Doing that title search. Boom. Denver, Colorado cost me $5 just for a preliminary title search. Okay. Sioux City, Iowa, what? 150. So there's a little bit of a price range there. Now, if you're working on a shoestring budget, you got to know, you got to understand how some title works, title stuff works, or have a good transaction coordinator on your team that kind of specializes in that area. This is why the importance of a team it weighs so heavy on the success of your business, because, while obviously this can be done, there's many people that have done it on their own, gotten deals done in order to make some money to, fill the gas tank up in the business, so to speak. So, you can learn all of this stuff, but also having the ability to specialize in one area, concentrate on one area, while somebody's got your six, as they say in the military. Somebody's got your back, right? That's why I love, man, that our team is solidified now with the GoGetter family. When people become, inner circle members, you get access to those resources. And I'm about to put the VA Connect in place for the GoGetter family, the VA Connect too, because that was an expensive venture on your own, considering not just the VA, labor is relatively inexpensive, like really. And you got to think to yourself, well, that's a lot over there. So we're not like exploiting anybody over here, right? You got the hourly wage. However, you got softwares that you need, because again, they're international usually. So that's a whole different ball game. So anyway, making sure docs on both sides are executed properly. I can't emphasize this enough. Your documents have to be executed properly, guys. So the transaction coordinator and or deal administrator should know what documents need to be notarized, and then what ones don't need to be notarized, what documents are being recorded, what documents are not being recorded, right? And then, does the title company get to see your trust? Well, hell, not with the GoGetter family, they don't. Nobody gets to see that trust unless a judge, sends out a court order for us to show it, or for the trustee to show it, right? In its place, we use something called the affidavit of trust. So your transaction coordinator would know that. Now, if you're doing elementary deals like wholesale transactions, those are pretty ABC, man. Hey, purchase agreement, assignment contract, memorandum of contract if the person is smart. And that's really, there's a couple other ancillary things, but nothing major. When you get into the real deals, becoming the bank, holding on to that asset, yes, there's some documents. Helping clients. Now, see, this is a high level part right here because not every transaction coordinator is going to do this. And this is an important piece. Helping clients to navigate the clerk of courts, recorder's office, and any other official entities necessary for closing a transaction. Really. Yeah, I mean, there may be instances, see, where I'm gonna get Shafta, and Shafta's just a high level person in general, our deal administrator. So she came into the Go Getter family, not knowing really having any experience with real estate. So she's at an advantage in two ways. High level person, high level individual, just with anything, right? Just elite. And then is starting off learning real estate the right way, learning real estate the right way. So, you can't lose. You can't lose when you put so helping clients navigate the clerk of courts. Listen, if there are situations, I was talking to that student today, and that has the deal that was supposed to close today, a cash deal, but it's not closing because of some title issues, and it was with a survey. The lot it was double lined pretty much, and I don't even know how that happened. The house was built in 1950 something, but his buyer, which is a cash buyer, didn't want a title exception because he's buying cash. And so luckily, the title company is straightening that out. But I mean, it got kind of thin there for a second. So the closing is going to be a little bit later, a couple of weeks from now, instead of today. But having a transaction coordinator come in there, or somebody with the knowledge, like I said to my student today, I said, well, hey, this is an opportunity to learn the procedural aspects of if you can get something called a variance, right? Can you get a variance on that line for for this transaction? And variances are individual cases. So it won't change because there was the city code with this survey, and then there was I don't know, I can't remember if that's a state code that they were dealing with because it was double lined, and one was in too far, and the house went out further than the line. So that almost killed the deal. Well, hey, if we can go in and we can get that variance for this time, how would that procedure work? What form do I need to fill out to request a variance? And then when I fill out that form, who do I send it to? See, this is where it gets sophisticated, guys. And I think I might have lost y'all. Did I lose y'all? Are y'all still with me? Hit that like button. This is some game, man. You guys won't find this on YouTube. You'll find. I dare you. I dare you. Matter of fact, this is what I do. I dare you to, after this video, after my live, go in the search box on YouTube and just type in transaction coordinator for real estate and see what quality you come up with. See what quality you come up with. Dude, you'll be out there like a blind person in the dark, walking, eyes wide open, can't see shit. Y'all getting that game. So if you guys got questions, put them in the comments. Put where you're from. If you're new, okay, look at David. Bam. San Antonio checking in. John, I don't know if you came in late, man, but I got some VA action. I'm getting some VA action. I'm going to talk to you guys on Wednesday about that, my inner circle. So also, if you're new, seeing this video, I'm having a free training on a free subject 2 training Wednesday, February 1st, 6 p.m. to 7:30. Let me rush through this. I'm 19 minutes in. Delaware in the house. Bro, Delaware is so small, man, but we've got a lot of people from Delaware in the inner circle. This is becoming a thing. The people that we have from Delaware are all high level, which I love. So, hey, we about to buy that whole state. What's up? That thing small. Hey, I'm from Iowa, Shafta says, yes, the pen is absolutely mightier than the sword for sure. Let me get back to the rest of these so I can get you guys out of here. Okay. So helping clients navigate the clerk of courts. You want to get this deal done. Once the paperwork's in, you want to be able to sit back and move on to your next deal because you've got the paperwork at the title company. It's time to keep your business moving. That's what it's about, especially if you're a solopreneur. This is why, guys, networking And bringing value to others is so very important. Networking and bringing value to others is so very important because when you do that, you end up meeting people, man. And when you meet that person, you can kind of get a read on, they might be better at something than you are. So if you guys are headed in the same direction, well, why not link up? Why not link up? And two minds on it are going to get a lot further than just the one. Three minds on it are going to get a lot further than just the one. I mean, think about it. You try a new opportunity, right? And and in trying that new opportunity, I mean, there's a lot that you got to learn because you got to sharpen up some new tools. But so you do that thing for 6 months. Just imagine to yourself, man, that you just focus for 6 months. You focus for 6 months, man. And you make the mistakes, you have the wins, you do have to do the do-overs, all of that stuff, right? So think about the progress that you make in 6 months. Well, now what I want you to do is I want you to think if you have two friends, two associates, two people that are headed towards the same goal that are specializing in one piece of that new opportunity. They're focusing on that one piece, you're focusing on your one piece, and that other person is focusing on their one piece. Now, imagine yourself going hard, focused activity for those 6 months, making the mistakes, having the wins, getting the things done, having the do-overs, right? Now you're 6 months ahead. And now, instead of you reflecting back like, hey, what did I do that was right? What did I do that was good? What did I do that I shouldn't have did that I learned from? Now you have a group conversation and each person tells you about their experience, what they learned that worked. Instead of going about it this way, you go about it this way. One person for the transaction coordinator, one person for the acquisitions manager, right? And then one person for the dispositions manager to sell it. So now everybody's telling you about their respective positions. How much progress would you make then versus that 6 months by yourself? That's what networking does. That's what adding values to others do. And so this is why, man, you'll still, guys, I have over a half a million followers, man. I have over a half a million followers, okay? And you will still catch me in Facebook groups that are not my own. Matter of fact, just today in a subject to Facebook group, answering a question. Answering a question. That's where it started. That's what helped me. It helped me. I don't know if it was for selfish reasons back then or what. Today, I'm just like, man, I see that I got to answer this. I got to. I can't even help myself. I'm like, dude, you got stuff to do. I got plenty of comments to respond to, man. Come on. Plenty of DMs. And I'm in random Facebook groups because that's how I met the title agent that we're going to have for the Go-Getter family for New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and Florida. That's how I met him. That's how I met him. And so every member of the Go-Getter family has the opportunity to, especially the inner circle members, especially because there's so many people that want to get into the inner circle that just don't have the means to do it at the time or whatever the case is, man. Maybe they're not ready, but they're making some moves. So if they're asking questions in a group and you're an inner circle member, right, and you're answering some question, you're answering that question, but you're thinking to yourself, well, why does this person have a question about the foreclosure auction and how long they can delay it for, right, or what to say when they knock on a person's door? Does that mean they have leads? That might mean that they have leads. They've been out there doing some lead generation. Well, guess what that'll do? That'll save me a ton of time doing that lead generation. So what if I answered some of these questions and then I shot them a DM like, hey, what market you in? Have you closed any deals yet? What do you like doing? Do you like talking to people? Do you like generating the leads? Oh, I like generating the leads. Cool. I love talking to people. We're in the same market, or we can do this virtually too. How about this? We'll target a list. We'll set some parameters. You do the lead gen. Send me the data. Send me the contact that falls within our parameters. At least 30 days left till auction. They got, they've been living there 5 years. They got 20% equity, at least 30% equity, at least. Now I know who I'm calling, and I didn't have to spend my time finding those leads because guess what? that person who I found in a group added some value to and seen that they needed what I could bring to the table. Because not only can I talk to these people, but I got the paperwork. I got the paperwork. That's just me. That's how I blew up. Let me get back to this, man. I'll be going off on tangents on y'all ass. Y'all probably like, man, what happened to the transaction coordinator? So now the next thing, see, this isn't technically what a transaction coordinator does, all right, with the verifying mortgage with the lender and the servicing company. However, if that deal is coming with a go-getter family member and you are you're opting to get with us, pretty much partner with us and have us bring you across the finish line on that deal, our deal administrator is absolutely 110%, no question, going to verify that mortgage with the lender or with the servicing company, because we have to know those terms. I know so many people that just have not gotten to the finish line on deals for one reason or another, and not verifying the mortgage is one that I hear over and over, because the mortgage terms and whether it is in arrears, how much it's in arrears, with that just means how much it's behind, it's different from what they heard, the information that they got from the seller. So they're going based off of those numbers and they go find a buyer. And then when it comes time to close, and the title company most certainly verifies that mortgage. And they're like, well, hey, there's a shortage here because that reinstatement amount is this much, is 25,000. It's not 15. It's not 20. So those details, this is why that personality of your transaction coordinator is important. We're going to go over some personality traits in the inner circle, especially with that new class that came in. Foreclosure mitigation options. We're going to inquire about that. All right. We're going to inquire about those foreclosure mitigation options so we can work with the seller and work with the lender and get that delayed, get it pushed back. We can get some of that loan, those back payments put on the back end of the mortgage, all of that stuff. And see, this is the thing though. See, this is the thing with all of us. And that's why I say, like, answering the questions in the group, helping people analyze the deal in the group. They're like, hey, I got this deal and I don't know what it looks like. Dude, that helps your eyes. You like, man, I ain't messing with him. I got too much stuff to do. No, looking at that deal, that helps your vision in seeing a deal, because you're looking at this, you're looking at something that a person brought. Now, if they bring it to the go-getter family, it's something wrong. There's something going on. It's a foreclosure, tired landlord, probate, divorce, something like that. But they can't see, the cash flow. They can't see the equity, right? They can't see the average rent in that neighborhood, right? So they would be able to calculate the numbers. So you're like, man, let me put the address up or DM me the address. Boom, throw it in PropStream, analyze the deal quickly, because we have the video. I just posted the picture of that for Jacob. You're watching. I saw that you posted in the group 5 days ago, as a matter of fact, and there wasn't an answer on that post. So guess what I did? I saw it today. I went in the course, took a screenshot of where it was, and posted it in the comments. I got 500,000 followers. And I got you, Jacob, the one out of 500,000. So said all that to say, it's going to sharpen your eye up. That's going to sharpen yourself up. You sharpen yourself up and you get some good cosmic karma flowing, man. Straight up. So next thing is setting up notaries and any other state licensed services necessary. Now, if you're doing this virtually, you're going to have different things going on in different states. They're just subtleties and nuances. Also, your transaction coordinator will take care of modifying contracts when necessary. The title company might say, hey, we need this and that affidavit. We need an affidavit. On my last deal, I had to get an affidavit stating that the lady was not married when she bought the house. And I'm like, dude, come on now. You taking safety to a whole nother level, man. It was from the lawyer, the buyer's lawyer wanted. I'm like, come on, man. Now, so we had to do that affidavit. I remember another deal, man, where I had the couple, they were Latinos and got married in Mexico. Well, I didn't realize that. And had both of them signed because she told me she was married. She spoke perfect English, so I didn't, I just assumed, which we're not supposed to move forward based on assumption. It wasn't a big deal, but I had to get an addendum. And do you guys know that I was in closing doing that deal when I found out what an addendum was? So we'll be much better off, though, guys. Much better off. This is where planting that proper seed, and with us, it's identifying your specialty. This is where that comes in. This is where that comes in. We'll be much better off. Really, we will be much better off taking some time to prepare. Really, because most people, they don't take the time to prepare. And so they just show up to show out, trying to perform, but trying to perform when they are ill prepared. They just show up and show out, man. Bump it, man. I'm just gonna call them. I don't even got no power statement. I'm just gonna call them and say, hey, you're in foreclosure. I could take over those payments. What you think? They gonna be like, "Mom, what is you talking about, man? You're nuts. Get off my phone, click, buy, hang up," and then we're deflated. So you'll be much better off if by taking time to prepare. That way, instead of showing up and showing out, right, while being ill prepared, while not having those tools, instead, you show up prepared. You show up ready to spit that power statement that's gonna take. They're gonna be taken back by it. Like, oh wow, okay, that sounds good. Tell me more about that. I remember, man, when my inner circle student Trent, and I just had him. He was at our inner circle meeting this past week, and he had just closed a deal, an old deal, and finally got paid off of it, man. So he was feeling good about that. I was proud of him too, man. Him and Travis, just for persevering, right, and being persistent. But there was a time when Trent, man, would not use the tools that were in front of him, dude. Oh my God. And it was like, man, I don't know. I was nervous when I was about to go over there, man, because I don't. And I'm like, yeah, you felt like you didn't have the tools that you needed, right? You were ill prepared. That's how you felt before you even went, right? And he's like, yeah, man, yeah. And I was like, dude, the tools, man, are looking you dead in your eye. They like about to poke you. They like, man, I'm right here. And he like, yeah, you right. You right. So then from then though, he's like, man, I'm gonna use these tools. So he got his power statement, boom. He got the seller presentation, bam. And then he's on the phone, man. Him and Travis, his partner, they're on the phone with a prospect. And she asked him, this is what she asked him. She says, what she said, she said, so what is it that you guys do now? And he spit the power statement. Boom. Whichever his is, right? Well, what we do is we have a unique way of kind of partnering with property owners to help them to legally stop their problems and actually put money in their pocket instead of taking it out. And we can usually get people back in control in a little less than a week. So, how's it been? I don't think he followed it up with a question because her response, this was her response, man. This is Trent told me this out of his mouth, man. I got it on video. You know me, Mr. Video. Um, anyway, Trent said, man, you know what she said to me? You know what she said? I said, no, what's that, Trent? She told me and Travis is his partner. She said, I bet your mothers are proud of you. I said, damn. She said, what? You are a real estate investor talking to somebody about to buy their house, man. That is normally an adversarial situation. And you're buying that house by becoming the bank, taking over the existing mortgage. And she told them, I bet your mothers are proud of you. Man, that's deep. That is deep. So, power statement, man. Power statement. It's the seed to that business. All right. But also what helps sharpen those skills is participating, man, in groups. Our groups, because I've got the free group, Financial Freedom with Sub 2, that people are in, man. Anyway, participate. That'll help sharpen your skills. The next thing is, let me make sure I'm showing this here. The next thing is, and this is the last piece. Here's your last piece with your transaction coordinator and then the deal administrator. Maintaining strong lines of communication between the seller right? And then the acquisitions manager, right? Because if you've got a team, you've got the seller of the property. So your acquisitions manager closed them. And then your buyer, right? Because you got the buyer bringing the money to the table. And you're staying in the middle on that deal too as the owner if you did it subject to and use creative financing and became the bank. But you'll have your buyer, which is on your team. The person handling your buyer is the dispositions manager. Boom. And then you got the lead manager and the back office for the information exchange when necessary. Now that's with us, the back office, but you got your lead manager because now your lead manager is generating new leads for you too. So it's really, when you do this at a high level, it is a symphony. It is a symphony, an orchestra, man, of the highest form. Now, the thing with the Go Getter family is this, especially for my inner circle people, man. I've been working super hard, and we do real estate by becoming the bank, taking over the existing financing. All right, no credit checks, no W-2s, no debt to income ratios. We're not going to the bank with our hat in our hand filling out credit applications because we don't have to. We become the bank, right? But we have to play by the rules that they've put in place. We just found the suppressed rules that they don't want us to know. So all that said, when you want to do this at a high level, right? We do it differently anyway. We're not just burning and turning on cold calls, calling people because they are at, they have enough equity for us to buy it at 70% loan to value. No, I want wholesalers dead leads. That's how sick with it we are. That's how much of the big homie we are. There's levels to this, man. And if you're a wholesaler, which cool, man, I ain't hating on you. I love you. Matter of fact, I'll even help put some food back on your table by those leads that you thought were dead because you can only make one offer to them. You bring them to me, you bring them to the doctor, you bring them to the surgeon. I'm gonna bring that thing back to life and we all gonna eat. Okay. But all that said, for the Go Getter family, I'm working on, I'm gonna talk to you guys on Wednesday, my inner circle, getting you guys an instant team, but trained with our material, our negotiating. So Naomi is closing that deal on February 13th that I have that recorded call with her prospect, and then I gotta go, guys, unless you guys have a question or two. But she's closing that deal February 13th. And it's through a hedge fund, man. And the hedge fund, boy, they play vicious games, man. And then in Atlanta, man, that thing is saturated with wholesalers, dude. They call Atlanta the bandit sign capital. Like there's a sign on every telephone pole, every parking spot pole, everything, man. It's a bandit sign talking about we buy houses cash. We buy ugly houses. Well, damn, who don't buy houses cash around this some is? You like, motherfucker, everybody got cash down here? Where I get some at? So you gotta stand out, right? So anyway, she's dealing with this hedge fund, and they offered her cash on this deal. So supposed to close on the 13th, get 38,000. Well, the hedge fund in the paperwork, they gave themselves some time for their due diligence. And the way they worded it, I just skimmed over the contract. That time doesn't expire until tomorrow, until they actually have to accept it, and will lose any earnest money that they put in if they pull out of the deal before the closing. So they end up going out there to see the property, and that thing needed some updating. Oh my God. Ain't no way. What? I'm talking about that thing needed some updating. So they come back and they say, hey, we can't give you 185,000. We can only give you 160. I said, these mother, what? Man. I told her, I said, I told her, I said, you know what? I said, okay, Amani. I said, you know what? I said, this ain't their first rodeo. They know what they was doing. They burnt up all that time, man. They burnt up all that time to come back with that low ass number. She said, should I just send them the termination agreement? I said, hold up, hold your horses. Slow down a minute. We got some tricks up our sleeve too, because this ain't our first rodeo. So anyway, I told her immediately, right? Because I know where, this is the Go Getter family system, the 7 steps to becoming a bank, right? So I told her, I said, use the overcoming objections document. And there's a section that is take it or leave it responses. And ooh, are they glorious. Mm. She actually sent me the conversation because I was like, hey, send me the conversation. I'm curious to how it went because they obviously came up in their offer, their new offer. So we had to counter them. So she tells me, and she told, let me see where it is. Okay. She used them. I love it. And she went in order. You can use these separately. You can use them when you're talking. You can use it via email. So in that instance, man, most people don't know what they would say. She was ready to send the termination agreement. Like, all right, bump it. I'm gonna go try to sell it to somebody else. I was like, hold on a second. It ain't a seller's market anymore, first off. So we gotta do this thing artfully. So I told her go to that overcoming objections document and then in the take it or leave it section and go ahead and hit them with some of those responses and see what they say. So one of them is, if I was representing you, you wouldn't want me to get pushed around like that, would you? Boom. That wasn't no another number, a higher number, or oh, that's too low, right? And then so we got so much information out of them. Oh my God. It was like a work of art because she just went in order. Beep, beep. She sent that, they responded. She sent the next response, boop, they responded. I was like, yes. So is it disrespectful if I ask to clarify a few points? You can say that if somebody's like, you know what, I'll give you 160,000. That's as high as I'm going. You say, is it disrespectful if I just ask to clarify a few points? They're gonna say, well, no, that's not disrespectful. We want them to say no, remember? And then you can go into some things, right? So it sounds like whatever the conversation, man, an art, but she followed the process. She followed the procedure. I had to send it to her. We're all in a learning process. We've got to, her first mind, right? Her factory default setting said send them a termination agreement to cut our losses, right? But remember, everybody is here to learn more and to gain more tools and to become something more, right? And we've got to understand too, man, you have to go through some stuff if you plan on getting some stuff. You're gonna go through some stuff. Ain't no doubt about it. So she goes through that, man. She gets all kinds of information. I don't even. It's Here's another one. I'm gonna give it to you. It sounds like there's no movement on any of these points. Ooh, if they're like 160,000, that's it. It sounds like there's no movement on any of these points. I didn't make no counter offer. She didn't make no counter offer, man. So anyway, they came up to 169. All right. So we're splitting that deal. She at first she was upset about it. She didn't do the math. I was like, Naomi, that ain't no loss. That ain't no loss. We'll each still make over $11,000. I'll take it. I don't know about you. So follow the procedures. Remember, the work that we do in private prepares us, man, prepares us for the work that we do in public. I have chosen personally to marry myself to something, to give my all to something, man. One time in my life, I'm going to give my all to something that is betting on me. One time. What about you? One time? What about you? Because I don't know. We know every lie that we've ever told, man. Whether we told it to our mama or to ourselves, we know it. So some people right now are like, I've gave my all to this, I've given my all to that, I gave my all. Did you really though? And was it betting on you? I'm talking about this ain't dating. Hey, that guy's kind of cute. That girl's kind of cute. She look good in a sundress. Cool. And then you find somebody new next week. That's dating. This is marriage. And this is old days marriage, man. Ain't no getting divorced. You gonna embarrass the family. You ain't getting divorced. Boy, you picked it. That's who you die with now. That bet on yourself, man. Guys, I got to get up out of here. I went too far already. So, free subject to training Wednesday, February 1st, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Central. You can sign up with the link in the description, man. Limited seats available for that, man. And then if you just want to skip the free training and the Become the Bank Challenge starts February 6th. The new one, I'm gonna have some of my people from the last challenge come talk to us, and come say what's up to the new people, man. Cause y'all had a big transformation, man. GL Pro Home. Okay, love you too. Love you too. Where you from? Where you from? Uh okay, okay, brother. Bring it back to life. That's right. That's right. Bets on, he said. So, guys, I got to get up out of here. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you're new to my channel, you feel like I brought you some value, I want you to consider subscribing, all right? Oh, Kentucky. Okay, okay. So, consider subscribing, and then remember the transaction coordinator, the deal, that is the glue of the deal, the person that holds that deal together, detail oriented, will not be dissuaded, follows operating procedures step by step, knowledgeable. That's what you need. Tenacious. Now, when you come to the Go Getter family, our dealers administrator is just that, is all of those things. So we're gonna get you an instant team here soon. I got something to announce for y'all Wednesday. Instant team, and then also where I'm gonna work on Shafta a little bit, and we're gonna have some deals where we're gonna be, helping people close, maybe around the country. I'm just gonna put it out there to my 500,000 followers. So, guys, I got to get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all as usual. And you guys know what it is. Till next time, let's get to it, y'all.
I'm a go getter. They some go getters.